Hello everybody, I am Samuel15, the Dragon Team here today. Welcome to Pokemon TCG Online. And normally today I would do expanded format Monday, but today I'm doing something different. Today I'm going to be covering the deck that I used to I used during the St. Louis Regional Championships. St. Louis, Missouri Regional Championships. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that and why I chose this deck and why I chose this exact build and some of the matchups I had and my success with it. So going right first, how did I do with this deck? And I ended up finishing 4-2-3, 4 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws. And the next day I competed a league challenge with this same build. With this exact same build, though, with the St. Louis Regional Championship build being based around with only a 1-card difference. For St. Louis, instead of using Drum Card, I used Energy Retrieval. During that regionals, I decided, and afterwards I decided, I'd rather have Lysander's Trump Card instead. So during the League Challenge, I only used it once, but I really didn't use Energy Retrieval that much during my St. Louis either, in the actual regionals either. And I feel like I'd rather have trump cards so I can get back energy and for just longer matches, and sometimes if I make a mistake I'll be able to recover from by recycling some energy and or G boosters, maybe some stuff I may need later. Granted, I will be shuffling in back some of the stuff my opponents may need, but still. The reason why I was hesitant to use Lysander's trump card at first simply due to the fact that I would also be shuffling my opponent's special energy, and that's why I chose Energy Retrieval over the trump card. Though in the end I decided I really do regret not using trump card, because my 2 losses could have been easily prevented if I had the trump card. And I feel like it would have been very useful, because Energy Retrieval was not very useful. I'd rather have something that shuffles in my Grass Energy, because having Grass Energy in hand is not very useful, honestly. If you can't use Emerald Slash to get them, because you can't attach Grass Energy from your hand onto your Pokemon via Emerald Slash. You have to go through your deck. So, oh well. So for the League Challenge, I ended up going 5-1. So let's talk about the Regionals Championship first and why. And before even that, why I chose this deck. I chose this deck simply because this is the deck I actually felt the most comfortable with, and the deck I could feel that I would do the best with. And I chose having the balloons in here because even though a lot of people told me I should not play the balloons, I should just play straight consistency and the yada yada yada. I really do like the Drifblim line. Yes, you're not going to use it all that often, and for the most part they are kind of dead cards, but I feel like having dead cards in VirGen almost helps it, as weird as that sounds. To me, that makes sense. It may not make sense at all to you guys, but I really don't care. Essentially, I feel like Drifblim did help me a lot in my matchups. Sure, it wasn't useful every single match I had, or in every single of the best out of 3, every single battle I had, but it's useful enough for me so I could redeem it. To me, Drifblim really did belong in this deck. Looking back on it, I would not take out the Drifblim. Like I said, the only thing I regret having the deck was the Energy Retrieval. I should have had the trump card. Round 1, I beat a Yveltal deck fairly easy. Round 2, not fairly easy. My opponent did get some bad luck, which did help me a little bit. That's how the game works out. Round 2, I was facing the mirror, and my opponent was just playing a straight VirGen deck, and he underestimated at first the power of Drifblim, and then after I took like 4 prizes with Drifblim, he realized that gotta be careful from then on. He was very careful how he discarded his plasma energy, and he ended up winning the second one. Granted, I had a very, very poor start, starting with the Deoxys of all things. That's not good. Then I drew for like 2 turns, and I almost brought it back, but I was not able to, unfortunately. In the second game, went to time. I almost pulled the win out of my butt there because Drifblim almost gave me the win, but unfortunately I was not able to do so. I would have needed to use my opponent put up a one prize Pokemon, being the Dene, and actually put up a fresh EX. I was not able to one-shot it because it had one energy on the Genesect, grass energy on the Genesect. So my idea was to energy switch to a Drifblim and then use the plasma energy to bring up a wounded Pokemon so I can knock out with Drifblim. Of course, my opponent only had one special energy in this card pile, had a fresh Deoxys on the bench, so my plan was for it to get another hammer and to knock out the Deoxys. Unfortunately, I did get the other hammer, but I did not get the plasma energy. I whiffed on that. If only like another turn or two passed, I would have been able to knock it out. Unfortunately, that's not how it went down. Game 3, I faced a fairy deck. Some stuff happened. It just ended up being a tie. Very close. I don't remember too much of that matchup. Round 4. I can't remember what was round 4. I really can't. I think it was another fairy deck, honestly. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. It was was that hard charm fairy deck variant that everyone was playing, and yeah, I ended up winning against that deck pretty easily. Not pretty easily. My opponent actually got a Charizard and was able to attack turn 2, believe it or not. Turn 2 Charizard. That really sucked because my opponent went first. No, actually, I went first. He then used Geomancy, got to Fairy Energy play, had a Rainbow Energy. Next turn was able to get the Charizard along with the Spiritomb, one shot, and then put a Head Ringer on my Genesect, knocked me out. I put up a Drifloon, my opponent Ice entered my other one, and I just quickly gave up the game from there. Second game kind of ended up being just as fast. My opponent I got like a really quick start, really good start. My opponent had a really poor start, and the third game was actually a very even match. But I ended up winning. So yeah, that was the fourth game. At that point, I was 2-0-2. I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, I think I told you guys, but the third game went to a tie. Yeah, but won the fourth game, and the fifth game I ended up facing Seismitoad. Yeah, Seismitoad Hard Charm variant. Oh god, the Slurpuff Seismitoad Hard Charm. That was very ugh. I won that game somewhat easily, and my opponent kind of just stalled it to death and won the second game. I did not scoop that game as quickly as I should have. I waited two more turns because I was hesitant to do so because I was worried if I were to scoop, my opponent would be able to win the next game more or less on a fluke, because my opponent would just dominate the game and just kind of run me out of prizes very quickly. But you know, I decided after a few turns, I was like, all right, this is safe enough for me to do it. Hopefully, I get a good start and I can run my opponent over from there. No. That game was fairly quick. It was, although the third game was not fairly quick at all. It definitely would have been on the wire. I think that was winnable. But I can't really tell, so that ended up going to a tie. At that point, I was 2-3 after the fifth round, and I could win it out. If I were to win it out, I would have been fine. But my sixth round was, of all people, Cody Crescent, who's been on this channel a million times, and someone who I actually went to regionals with. We actually shared a hotel, we rode down together, and then for us to face each other, we just kind of found it hilarious. We really did. At that point, he was 3-2, 3 wins, 2 losses, and so it's not too much of a surprise we faced each other. He was playing. It was the mirror match, but only he had Headringer. And, dear God, Headringer just helped him win that thing. It meant so much. He won the first one very easily because, like, within 2 turns, he had Headringer both my VirGens that had energy on it, and was just screwed from there. Game 2, I almost ended up taking it back because he had a really strong start, but I was able to get around it. Because Game 1 I actually started with Jirachi, Game 2 he started with Jirachi. And third game was actually, there was no third game because like I almost caught back, but he was able to get the game there. So that was my loss there. I was a little sad, disheartened that I lost, though I hoped he would have won out from there. So I feel like Trump card would have helped me so much because at that point when I was not able to take it back, if I had Trump card, that would have helped me so much with like that grass energy. It really would have. And one of the things when I first saw that I was facing Cody, my first thought was like, oh, there goes my losing streak. I mean, there goes my undefeated streak, because technically it was undefeated. So I was like, ah, no. Ah, shit, let's get this over with. Maybe I can pull it out of my ass and win. I almost did, but I was not able to fully, successfully do that. But I was impressed how I did against him. My next match was actually against the Empoleon deck. Yeah, it was an Empoleon deck, and what happened was that my opponent was fairly tired at that point. He had the same exact record as me at that point, because actually he just got defeated by my friend Tyler, who had like the same record as Cody, despite the fact he lost the first 2 games right out the bat. He lost against Hondo on stream. You can actually go look on Pokemon's Twitch channel. Please do that so you can see him. He was playing pretty much the same deck as Cody was, with like a 3-card difference. I don't know exactly the exact cards were, but yeah, they're both playing Stray Verizian Jet type with Headbangers. So yeah, he ended up losing the first 2 matches. So and at that point he was going to the 6th round. He had the same record as Cody, 4-2. And he ended up beating another person with a 2-3, which was my Empoleon opponent. And it was a fairly even match, game 1. But my opponent used Colress and shuffled his hand into his discard pile. I've seen people shuffle their hand into the deck after like a supporter or something like that, but shuffle your hand into your discard pile, that was weird. I had no idea what my opponent's hand size was. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what was his hand, so the judges had no choice but to rule that a game loss. It was unfortunate, but I had no idea what was my opponent's discard pile. I had no idea what was my opponent's hand. So yeah, it's unfortunate, I guess, but still, that's just how it ended up happening. And even though he only got a 1 game loss, so it would have been his turn that time. But he actually decided to scoop entirely. Actually, like he scooped the whole entire series and like gave me the win. It's like, what? Apparently he was just tired at that point. He knew he wouldn't win out. He was just playing for fun, decided to play another round. But he actually decided to drop there. That surprised me a bit, but I get a free win. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not even gonna complain at all about that. So yeah, I was at that point. I was let's see, 3-1-3. So I had a pretty good record. At that point, I was just trying top 16, not top 16, but like top 64. So it was like gonna get some championship points and some packs. And then I ended up running into, I forgot his name. He was a Yeti guy. It was a redheaded Yeti guy from the local area. He was playing Night March with a Shaman in it, actually. Shaman EX. As a one-of, so like he could roll up Seismitoad at the end. On paper, that sounds like a somewhat decent matchup with the Drifloon, because he does play Special Energy, but unfortunately I was not able to get the win there. Because Drifloon decided to call him sick that day. those games. So, and neither game lasted more than more than four turns. So my opponent's fourth turn, he won. And that was just really irritating, losing a Night March like that. It's a very scary deck, but if like you can get a lucky start and they get a very piss poor start, you should be fine. So, and actually Night March is a bad matchup for VirGen for some reason. I don't know why VirGen Jet Deck loses to Night March, but it does. It just does. It's weird, but it just... oh well. So yeah, I lost to that. At that point it was 3-2-3. And then going into my final round, I was like, alright, I want to finish in the top 100. And I don't want to go 3-3-3 because it just looks dumb. So I was hoping to like go 4-2-3, have my only losses, and I faced a seismitoad Manetric deck of sorts, with Garbodor in it. However, my opponent's deck seemed to be somewhat clunky, honestly. Just because he wasn't never drawing well all that well. I feel like he misplayed once or twice. At that point, he was very pissed off, though. My opponent was very angry. My opponent was very irritated because I think he only had 3 losses when I faced against him. No, he was 4-4 at that point. Yeah, he was 4-4, and 2 losses ago he had a chance in, but apparently he did not. Then he had to lose again to his friend. So at that point, he was just trying to help his friend out, so his friend could top 64, help his friend's resistance, which was nice of him. But he ended up losing to me because I feel like he was so angry, was not really overthinking it. He didn't really rule shark me at all, really, but he would just seem very angry, very focused, and very fast. He seemed like he was a naturally fast player and a naturally very serious player, but I feel like I kind of won there because of his mentality. And mentality does have a huge factor in this game, how someone's mentality going into a match can actually end up helping you. And sometimes it's over before the games have even begun because of the mentality, which probably might have helped Cody win my match because my mentality of me losing might have helped him. That probably would have been it. I was still going to try, damn it, of course. Even if I feel like I'm going to lose, I always do try my best. Everyone tries their best, you know. That's how it works. You don't just scoop if you feel like you're going to lose, usually. But yeah, I ended up finishing 4-2-3. My losses again in that tournament were against Night March and the Mirror with Headringer. So, and all my ties were for the most part winnable. I don't think I actually said this, but on the fairy matchup that we tied, I feel like if it got a little longer, I have no idea who would have won there, but I feel like I might have had. I feel like I had a bit of an advantage. I could be wrong. I could have actually ended up losing, but they were winnable. Each and every single match of my ties was winnable, with one of my ties being probably very winnable if it went on another turn or two. If it went on a few more turns, I feel like I definitely would have won that match, and I felt irritated that I did not win that match, especially since my opponent at that point just basically tanked at that point. After that, he just kind of had several sweet losses before finally just saying, you don't have enough and just opting out from there. That irritated me a little bit. Damn it, we tied and you just tanked. What the hell? Just frustration on my part. Damn it. Oh well. That's fine. Going into the league challenge, going into the whole entire event, my goal was not to actually top 32 at all. No, it was not. My goal going to top 32, I would have loved to top 32, but it was not my goal. My goal was to actually get no more than 4 losses. And by obviously by the fifth round, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get no more than 4 losses here. And at that point, I was gonna try to. I already met my goal for the most part. And at that point, I was trying to win it. It's ironically the first round I was actually feel like I wanted to actually win in top 32 was the exact round I ended up facing Cody and losing. It's kind of irony when you think about it. Ah, you want to win? Yeah. All right, face Cody. Fuck. Sorry for swearing, but yeah. So going into the league challenge, my only goal was to have no more than 2 losses. But then again, if I had no more 2 losses, if I lost the 3rd time, I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna go into the side effects. I'm out. So my goal was just to do well and decent enough. I would have loved to do like top 4, but that was not my primary goal. So yeah, I ended up facing the first round against a Reshiram Manetric deck, and yeah, Mega Manetric Reshiram. At that point, I saw the Reshiram. I'm like, yeah, the Reshiram is gonna die soon before it kills me. So as soon as I could, I was able to knock out the Reshiram. From there, my opponent was not able to get any more Pokemon, and it was more or less it was fairly easy to knock out the Manetric at that point. That's how it kind of ended up going. I ended up facing the next round. Karma ended up having to bite me a little bit, and I ended up disappointing a little bit on my second match against TDK Plasma Bats. You know, Crobat? Yeah. That just seems really clunky, and my opponent was playing a really weird deck. And my opponent ended up prizing 2 Thundurus. So, yeah. At that point, I was starting to roll my opponent, and then I used Skyla, then followed by an N. So, yeah. The judges were about to rule it a game loss before I stepped in and said, hey, this is somewhat reversible. I could just, the cards, because I did Skyla for a switch and use it. I was like, is it at all possible I could just put the switch and the Skyla back into my deck and just keep shuffling and I had to play like it never happened? Because technically it is reversible to a certain degree. And the judges just looked at me and said, huh, yeah, I guess it is reversible. And they said, sure, go ahead. But they're like, we should rule this as a game loss, but this is a league challenge, and your opponent doesn't seem to mind. My opponent's like, I don't care. But like, well, that was really nice of my opponent, because my opponent prized 2 Thunders, and because just said, you know, yeah, let's get the double game loss. I'm gonna lose anyway. Might as well have my opponent also lose too. But no, he decided to be nice, because he felt like he was gonna lose, but he still was gonna try at that point. And a few turns later, he just kind of scooped and said, you know what, you're definitely gonna win this point. I had a Drifblim. He already had several energy in the discard. I was gonna win. He just kind of scooped. I thanked him for not giving Loius double game loss, and I won there. The third match, I ended up facing a fairy deck. Koile, I think his name is. He ended up having it's like a dark fairy deck with fairies all around the dark. What he told me is that he thought it was actually expanded to have this deck ready for months in advance, for like a few weeks in advance. And then he found out the last minute it was standard. And he was like, ah! So, yeah, it was a very close matchup. It really was. The difference maker once again was the good old Drifblim. Drifblim coming to our aid, and I took my final 2 prizes, and yeah, it was really close though. It could have gone either way. If they went for the Drift model, I don't think I would have won there. The fourth match was against a Wildcat Crobat deck, and my opponent was dead drawing a little bit. I was dead drawing a little bit too, but I had a little bit more luck on my side. I actually had no support draw for like 5 turns before I got anything. It was, in my experience, Wildcat Crobats is like a little difficult matchup. Especially the way my opponent was playing. He's playing very well, but I ended up beating him there. So I beat him there, and I was 4-0 at that point. And 5-0 was a complete and total, my opponent just not getting anything at all. He started with Pikachu, he ended up going first. Then he retreated to a Darkrai. He was playing Yveltal. I would assume he was playing Yveltal with a Raichu line. I would assume, but I never saw the Yveltal. All I saw was a Pikachu and a Darkrai, and because I eventually just knocked them both out. So, yeah, that was there. And then I ended up facing Ross Coughlin. I was 5-0 going to the 6th round, the 6th and final round, and Ross Coughlin was 4-0-1. So, I knew what he was playing at that point, and he was playing Execute, which is that Executor deck that you saw. That I also was on. That was on stream on Twitch yesterday. He ended up not going top 32, I believe. He ended up doing really bad after the first 2 wins. I believe he only got like another win after that. Honestly, most of his I think he only got 1 or 2 losses. Honestly. But he had a bunch of draws. It's like just a lot of draws. So that's a slow deck. And to be completely totally honest, I wanted first place because I wanted a box for you guys. That was my whole entire idea. I wanted to get first place for the box. I ended up actually saying, hey, do you want to maybe tie? It's like, there's a good chance you may be able to top 4. It's like, no, just in case there's too many X's and 1s, I don't want to tie, and I kind of want to win too. Because he also heard the, like, first and second get those beautiful mats you guys saw yesterday, which should be on the link's description near the end of the video. So yeah. So going into that, sorry if I started too much. Sorry about that. I mumbled. So going into that, my mentality was like, alright, let's try to start with VirGen Gen set with VirGen and start getting things going. Maybe we can get a good start because I was going first. Actually, my opponent was going. Ross was going first. He is going first, starting with a Genesect of all things, and long story short, I kind of lost. I just did not start with VirGen. I started with just bad stuff. I was just, you know, he was able to get it up, and I just had a really crappy start. And when you have a crappy start against that, you just kind of lose for the whole entire thing. I will freely admit that I was trying to stall out Ross. I really was. After a certain amount of time, I was trying to stall him out a little bit. Between each and every, even when I draw a supporter, and I had a bunch of support in my hands, I was like, I counted 10 Mississippi in my head, like 10 or 15 Mississippi in my head before I said pass. I was trying to stall it out. You think Ross was on to that because he started playing a good deal faster because he realized, alright, my opponent's trying to stall me out so he can get first. But because I was worried I would not get second and I would end up like coming like 3rd or 4th, even 5th maybe. But I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a good chance. There was a good chance I would have come second, but I did not know because I've seen people come who were undefeated and then they lose and then they come 3rd or 4th, and that sucks. So I really wanted to get that mat. So that's how I was trying to do it. So I ended up being defeated by Ross, and I was very thankful that I got second. So I was like, yes! I thought it was a pretty good chance I would get second because I was undefeated and my only loss was against a 401. Just because I just thought it was very likely at that point. So I was happy that I finished second in that tournament. I didn't get anything for regionals, but for the league challenge I came second of like 67 people or something like that. So I'm overall satisfied with how I did at this past regionals. My only 3 losses were against Executor, which was piloted by Ross Coffin, and my friend Cody was playing a mirror, and Night March. Just freaking Night March. God dang it. So my only losses with this deck were with this pretty much exact deck list both days, with the only switch was the actual regionals event. I was playing Energy Switch, and the next day I was playing Lysander's Trump card. So yeah, this is the exact list I used for that at those events. With the League Challenge, I do admit that to a certain degree I was lucky in the fact my opponents were unlucky. I will freely admit that was probably the easiest League Challenge I've ever entered, because my friends Cody, Tyler were not actually in that event, otherwise they probably would have won. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just like I'm like slightly above average scrub. Like, I'm not even that much of a scrub, honestly, because I do well very somewhat for the most part. I think I'm better than the average scrub. Sorry for those people who are actually legitimate scrubs, but I think I'm just slightly better than you guys. But I think you guys are all great too. I think all scrubs are good. We're just getting a bad reputation. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being a scrub as long as you're having fun, in my opinion, to be honest, though. There really isn't. So yeah, I really do not regret having Driftplum in this deck. I feel like during the whole entire weekend, Driftplum earned its place in this deck. To me, I would not change the Driftplum outgoing if I were to look back. If I were to do this again, I would definitely not change the Driftplum line. I really do like it. I do think it's worth having the space in the deck. Though it's down to personal preference, in my opinion, though. If you want to take it out, that's fine. That's completely up to you. Stuff that I have in this deck is also more or less personal preference. I think for the most part this deck is very standard build. Zero Sick, as much as my friends think it's not a personal preference between that and Tool Retriever. I think this is a personal preference. Though I do think it helps your size with totem matchup a lot. And personally, I do think I can't disagree with them because I do think Zero Sig is good in this deck. Even though it was used as an Executor matchup, it totally was, and probably would have helped me a little bit if I had Tool Retriever. But at the same time, you know, I would have been screwed either way. Having no support sucks, you know. There's nothing really real way around that. So, yeah. I played 2 Hammer because you're playing Drifloon to energy switch. I wanted to play a third, but there's not enough room to switch because having Deoxys with 2 retreat cost sucks. It really does. I mean, Drifloon also has 2 retreat, but you can get around that with Drifloon evolving from the Drifloon. Has 1 retreat. For the most part, I feel like this deck is very standard. 9 energy, you can actually, instead of playing the Life Vintage Trump card or energy retrieval at all, you can just play straight 10th grass energy. But I do like having something where I can get back my grass energy, but that's just my personal preference. So I think it's down to the most part, this deck is down to most personal preference. You could probably take these 2 Drifloons and put in like a 3rd energy switch, a Team Plasma Ball, a Dedenne, maybe a 10th, and probably a 10th grass energy or something like that, or maybe a muscle band. Actually, yeah, we'd probably take these 4 for a 3rd energy switch, Team Plasma Ball, Dedenne, and a 3rd VS Seeker. I really would, just so I could get more stuff, honestly. Going into the next set, I have no idea what stadiums I should choose. Oh, sorry if you heard something. You know, sorry about that. Let's see. Plasma Frigate. Each Pokemon that has any plasma energy attached to it has no weakness. I'm thinking of that, honestly. And Frozen City is not a bad option either. So these are like the 2 options I'm kind of thinking of. I think there's a 3rd Plasma Stadium, but I think I'm opting between these 2. And like, I really think maybe Plasma Frigate's not bad, and I think maybe Frozen City. If I were to play Frozen City, I'd also play Freshwater Set, which heals 20 from each of your Pokemon. So I think that would actually be somewhat decent, honestly. This whole entire idea. So I'm not against this, because the reason why I feel like you should play stadiums going into the next set is because Silent Lab. Each basic Pokemon I play in each player's hand, in each player's deck, has no abilities. And that seriously screws over this deck, especially if you're not playing these stadiums right now. So I think you should play stadiums. Going into the next set, I'm probably going to be taking out the Drifloons. Unfortunately, I do love them. I really do love these big balloons, but I think I have to take them out because I just can't justify taking out any of these items and stuff for. I really can't. So I'm probably gonna take out the Drifloon, put in like 2 stadiums, a 3rd, and probably a VS Seeker. 2 or 3 stadiums, and a 3rd VS Seeker if I go the Plasma Frigate route, and probably a Team Plasma Ball. That's probably what I would do. I think that's my idea going into that. Maybe even like a Shadow Tribe, because, you know, it looks like a dowsing machine, like, for the most part, for like Team Plasma stuff. So that's not a bad idea, honestly. I've been thinking of something for like that's gonna be kind of fun. You guys may laugh at me for this, but where is it? Where's Team Plasma Grind? Oh, I don't have a Team Plasma Grind apparently. It's odd. But yeah, I think I'm having Team Plasma Grind. What I think it does is that you should discard Team Plasma card from your hand, then you draw 3. It's bad, but think about it. I really am. Go ahead and laugh at me. Laugh at me if you want to. I don't care. So yeah, that's my this is the deck list. That's my thoughts going about this deck list. That's my thoughts about it going into the future. Like I said, if you don't like this deck list, that's fine. You don't have to use this deck list. Maybe I got a little lucky with this deck list. Who knows for sure. I do like this deck list though. I'm very comfortable with this deck list. I regret not playing the Team Plasma, the Lysander's trump card going into the actual regional events. But yeah, that's the only thing I really would have changed. I feel like definitely would have helped me a lot if I was able to use the Team Plasma, not Team Plasma, but Lysander's trump card. But who knows? Even if I had it in the deck, then I was not able to draw into it. If I were to be able to draw into that, so we never really know. We'll never really know. That's fine though. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, my explanation, even though it was really long-winded. I'm sorry I did not post this earlier today. At this point, there should be a link in the description to my rewards. Link in the description or like annotation or like a note or something around here about my rewards and my how I did and everything. So yeah, please like, subscribe. Let me know how you felt about this deck list. Let me know how you think. See you guys next time.